You're watching Oilersnation Radio.
Whenever I look for Oilersnation Radio on Twitter, I have to go to Rick's account because it says 1/4 of Oilersnation Radio and producer of the Nation Real Life podcast.
That was a strict rule by Wanye. He's like, you put that up there right now.
So
right.
were you ever the producer of Real Life?
Not really.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
You did, you did produce guests.
Yeah. Sometimes I was able to get I think one of our better ones was Davidson.
Brandon Davidson was you.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
about it.
Memorable episode.
Well, and there was also like a 2-year span, Rick, where you were fulfilling all of our Nation gear orders and.
Oh yeah, no, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. But no, Wanye's like, you got to put that, and you got to put that, and you got to put that in. I said, okay.
So I think we can update the bio.
Yeah, update a few things.
Well, there is 5 of us.
Intro,
So I don't know where that
there's
came
5 of
now.
us. Rick, I've
I
been
don't
in
know
this
where
show
that came from.
it's my 3rd season on this show.
Well,
A little
we'll
out
see
of
if he's
date on the
permanent.
bios.
We'll see
All
if
right.
he's permanent.
One step at a time, boys. We got an intro.
Technically, 4 of us right now.
That's
It is.
true.
I change it per show.
Yep. We're always on top of it. Again, Tyler has been murdered.
Mm-hmm.
He's not here. Look for him in a ditch near you.
And then please return him to Liam.
Yes. We did put Liam's new address on Tyler's body. Yeah. If you're the police, it's just a return to sender.
I got a nice shed.
Yeah.
I do, actually. I have a
keeping it.
great shed.
What's in there right now?
I have 2 bikes,
Right?
a rake, one of like this metal kind of like display thing the previous owners left in the yard, which I'm going to use for my vegetables next year because I'm a farmer. And then my girlfriend found on Large Pickup Day some old patio furniture that someone didn't want anymore. And
You're living the good life.
and it's perfect. So I just have to buy cushions for it, but it's like not damaged.
You're living the good life.
So I got- yeah.
you find things, you take them.
Yeah, give a
IKEA. That's where you're going to get your cushions from.
for outdoor furniture.
Yeah. They have
Really?
replacement
Plenty.
cushions there.
Oh,
You can even pop in and get a cheap breakfast while you're there. Come on, all of a sudden you're having a good little Sunday.
Good luck.
Maybe I'll see if Vasily Podkolzin.
Maybe.
That's why Tyler saw him.
Going to get another Billy bookcase.
Back when nobody should have known what Vasily Podzolkin looked like.
Zolkin!
I
This
do
is,
believe.
this
I'm
is
trying-
Edmonton. There's not one player that can walk around with.
Yeah, I can name
anonymity.
if you lined up every Oiler, and probably
Not free agent signings, Liam.
You
I
think
could-
you would see
yes.
Ty Emberson like dead to rights if you saw him just walking by?
totally.
Yeah, he'd be
I
the
was
one.
What
Up,
about
he'd,
the kid that we just signed?
yeah, Emerson's that. He's the
Sam
one up
O'Reilly,
on. He's the one
definitely.
up on Press Alley.
Yeah, he's
We're
way
going to
up
get
top.
to the line combos here. We got some fresh ones to get to. First, we got a delicious debate for our friends at Odd Company. They are the makers of the brand new Nation beer. Liam, I still owe you beers, unfortunately.
Yes.
The Vikings really Vikings on Sunday, but I owe Liam beers now.
It was a big game though.
It was a good game.
It was an awesome game.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you hear you guys are trying to trade for Matt Stafford now?
Really?
Yeah.
He did so well against the Lions in the playoffs last year. Oh, wait. They eliminated him too. Bring it on. Whoever you want. Go get prime Tom Brady. Doesn't matter.
What happens when Cooper Kupp goes to Kansas City?
It's okay. They're AFC.
Yeah, but then you have to meet him in the Super Bowl.
We'll beat anyone. Just not Lamar Jackson.
It was just so annoying. Like, Vikings defense, and 4 consecutive drives with a touchdown. You're like, come on, man. Come on, man. Then Sam Darnold loves throwing a pick when a guy's right in his way.
the best. Yeah.
Anyway, only lost by 2 points, though.
He didn't play very well.
It was fun. It was a fun, chaotic game. Anyway, I owe Liam now a 4-pack of Nation beer, which I will acquire. Thanks to our friends at Odd Company, bringing you brand new Nation beer. The Nation Beer Everyday Lager is here. Go get yourself a 4-pack. Enjoy responsibly. They're delicious. Perhaps during the game tonight, even. Want to get yourself hydrated? Liam, you are taking over Tyler duties today. What do you got for a delicious debate today?
So-
Borderline yawn.
That was a
Dan,
long
Dan is
sigh.
online. Yawn duty. I do have some reviews I'm going to read
I'm
later.
I'm a bad breather.
That's where I think I'm getting accused a
Yeah.
lot of.
So my delicious debate.
I got a deviated septum. I breathe out of my mouth.
There's no denying that Stuart Skinner needs to be better. I think that's maybe an understatement. But he's been getting a ton of hate, especially over the weekend after what happened. But do you think he is getting too much hate for what he's how he's playing, considering the offense is
Yes.
not scoring.
Yes.
So
whole
we got
team's playing
Skinner's
like shit
numbers
right
here
now.
before we dive into this, boys. I'll give you some context, a little bit of color. Currently, Stu has got a 4.03 goals against, an 854 save percentage, and has allowed 14 goals and 94 shots.
Not ideal.
Not a
Not ideal.
Back
There's
to
no
you.
denying.
And are we not last place in goals for right now? Goals for per 60, I believe.
Oilers are currently scoring 2 goals per game while giving up 4. Math, not ideal.
So if you could sit here and point your finger, you can't point your finger at one aspect of this team and say you are the reason. This whole team has not found its stride yet. We've seen this before, though. In fact, we see it almost every single year. Why people who have been around for such a long time are
Tyler.
losing their minds like they are right now
Tyler.
makes no sense to me. We've seen this before. He's come out of it before. We've literally had to give him a game off in the playoffs. Or was it 2?
2.
2. And look where he was at the end of it. Like, we've been through this before, people. Calm down.
Dan?
Just realized I had an official
Ah, yes, you did. You were wearing
on my chest. Sorry about
yeah.
that.
Dan, your thoughts on Stuart Skinner?
Okay, 2 things. First of all, you know what goalies love in front of them is consistency, and you know what we haven't given them in the defense is any consistency of any kind of pairing outside of Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard. So, yeah, I mean, it's early in the season. There's 2 games that Stuart Skinner can have that he wants back, and there's 3 games, or is that 2 other games where he was fine? So, I don't know. Like, this hockey team hasn't been very good yet as a whole. So I'm not blaming it on any one player, especially the goalie.
Liam, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think Skinner's a good goalie, and again, there's no denying his numbers are not good right now, and they need to be better. He needs to be better. But I think when you look at the games, like 6-0 loss to Winnipeg. Okay, well, the team didn't score. Lose 4-1 on Saturday. Granted, Ottinger had a good game. There's no denying that too. But the team still didn't score until the end. And like, you're giving Matt Duchene a clear shot in the slot on the penalty kill. It's like, yeah, your goalie probably doesn't have much of a chance on it.
That went off a stick too, did it not?
Either way, like,
Either
he
way,
had a lot of
it needs to
time.
be stopped.
Yeah.
It needs to be stopped. I do take a little bit of heat off the sentence once you know the puck has gone off a defenseman at that point. When it gets deflected a bit, I take some of the, you should have had that. But
think
at the
he
end of the
should have
day, you
saved
need to
that?
keep that out. Yes.
I think he should have saved it.
I think the forward, if you watch the replay, the forward shouldn't have gone. So on the replay, Henrique is the forward on the wing closest to the net, I guess we'll call it. And he goes to win the puck battle despite the face-off going directly to Matt Duchene. Like, the whole system was just thrown off so
There was
bad.
a comedy of errors. I would say.
Yeah, and I just think like there's so many mistakes happening in front of Skinner that he can't stop everything. Like that Calgary game, I actually think he played really well. And then the team allowed 1 goal and then completely collapsed in front of him. I think the team has played so poorly in front of him that it's hard to put the blame on the goalie when basically
just
everything
can't.
else is also going wrong.
Yeah, I think like that specific. We lost our logo again, Liam.
I know.
That specific goal, I thought he should have stopped, but I also think that Adam Henrique just lost his man.
Yeah.
So 2 things went into that goal for sure. The frustrating part about Saturday's loss wasn't Stuart Skinner. For me, it was nobody could score until
Again.
garbage time.
Again.
Power play was very cold
Again.
again. And the PK also let a goal in. So, sure, Stu should have stopped that shot, in my opinion. However, you can't ignore everything like Dan's
If he
point.
makes a save there, do we win?
It puts you in a different
No.
spot, but at the same point, like the Oilers were dominating that game through 40 minutes. They could not score.
I think too, like you said, if they don't score, then do they win? What was it, 23 seconds left in the period, something like that?
Yep.
The penalty kill has been so bad.
Yep.
It's hard to not think they would have just come out and scored anyway. You know, like
Yep.
I think it did arguably turn the Stars for the better. I think that they had their
Certainly woke 'em up.
Their intermission interview with the goal scorer, I guess.
It was Duchene. Yeah.
Really, they talked about how they had a poor game up until that point. They had no business being in that game, and then it just woke it up for them. So.
This is an offensively built team. We have 2 of the greatest offensive players in the world. We need to outscore teams in order to win. You can't just sit here and look at the goaltending. This is the way the team has been built. This is the way we want it to be built. This is what we are. This is what took us to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final last year. This is only game, what are we, 6?
Yeah.
This is game 6 of the regular season.
7 now? We had to get Dallas with 6, yeah. But like, Stuart Skinner isn't above critique. What's going on over here? Got a
My
little update
laptop
on the
shut
team?
off, so then the screen went off.
Now we got a TV update. If you're listening to this, you don't know what's going on, but on the TV behind us, we're doing a little software update. We lost the Oilersnation Radio logo. Liam is working on it. He is
All good.
Tech support. There,
I think we're good.
Producing.
I think that, again, Skinner could have stopped that shot, probably, maybe. Duchesne is also a very good player. It's not like it was some plug that just ripped one by him, so there's some acknowledgement of that. But, again, you're not going to win if you don't score goals. Impossible.
Especially this team.
And I think maybe that's one of the larger surprises. Like, Stu's had slow starts over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect the offense to be as slow starting as it has been. I think that's a surprise to me.
Yeah, after last year, I figured it would have been a little bit different. However, I do think there was a bit of a summer hangover that's kind of seeped into this season. I know myself, I wasn't as jacked up for game 1 of the season as I normally am, as sometimes when the season is over in February, by the time October comes around, I'm jacked up for game 1. Having this season end on, June 24th, and we're back into it 3 months later, I personally wasn't as into it right off the hop. Right now, I think I'm more frustrated than anything.
Yeah, I'm frustrated for sure.
I
I was
hate
frustrated
losing.
after Saturday. Yeah, me too. Like I was frustrated after Saturday. Not that they lost. It was just like, fuck, man. Like they were running the show for 40 minutes and just could not get anything to go. Now, Oilers have been a little cold. Some credit goes to Jake Ottinger for sure. He played really well. But ultimately, you're not going to win if you score 0 goals or your only goal you do get is in garbage time when you're already down 3.
Yeah. I think, too, like, from Saturday gives me every reason not to also be worried at the same time.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine.
Yes.
We've said it in the first 50 minutes of the show. Literally everything that could go wrong is going wrong for them right now. Like, one of their best players is Corey Perry, for crying out loud.
Hey,
Which credit to him. Corey
Yeah,
Perry.
he's doing really well. But come on, like he should be like your 11th best forward.
Yeah. And I mean, meanwhile, a guy like Zach Hyman, who was automatic last year, had 4 gold grade A chances in that game. And
Yep.
Ottinger was there for every one of them.
Still off the board just with points in general. So
Yeah,
is it all Stuart Skinner's fault? No. And if you think it is, then you're just not really paying attention.
You're
I think.
wrong.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean Stu can't be better. Has to be. But
The whole team has to be better.
yeah.
Yes, that's
mean,
the larger point.
It's just an easy answer, isn't it? Like if your goalie is shutting out the other teams, but we don't have any other issues.
It's the position he plays, man. It's like the last line of defense is always the goalie, and if things go wrong, he's always the one that gets pointed at
It's the
first.
easiest place to point a finger. 'Cause it's the
Always.
last thing you remember.
I found a stat that I was originally wrong about, but then I found out more about it, and I ended up got it right.
Is this part of last week's thing when you were looking for a stat, then you couldn't find the stat, then we had to make
No,
up
I
for
was
dead air for a little
actually-
while
It
as
was
you kept
all on
looking?
Oni.
I was doing this on the live show when when we were talking about Skinner, and I thought I was looking to see how many goalies had a 900 save percentage or better this season in the NHL, and it came up and it said 9. I was like, that is crazy. So I'm looking at it, and the first two were like Hellebuck and Ottinger were both 950, and then the third name was Connor Ingram. I was like, I didn't realize he was having that good of a season. Turns out Connor Ingram is an 881 to start the year, and I hadn't sorted it correctly. So there's actually 16 goalies in the NHL right now who have played 2 or more games that have a 900 save percentage or better, which is still a low number. Like it just goes to show how difficult being a goaltender kind of is in the NHL right now. Like Vasilevsky got pulled last night.
Right after he snowed Morgan Riley.
Yeah, that was funny.
hilarious. But and you were I was going to just add a little bit of context too, is that one of the viewers of the show had said that they are just begging for 9-10 average goaltending.
Come on, we need average 910. It's like that is one of the elites right now.
What was average last year? Do you know?
I think it was 897.
No way that was
I believe it was
The
below.
9-10 number is
Let me look.
8 to 10 years old now. I don't know why people keep bringing it up.
Liam's going to look.
Well,
We're
because
going to
Rick,
just vamp until he finds
they're
it.
not wrong that it would be nice to have a 9-10 average.
No, but
goaltender.
they say average is.
But again,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
just
that.
That's
Again,
not
you
the,
need to find out
that's
the
not the
exact
average.
easy
That's
answer.
not the average
It's
number.
that easy answer. Just
Yeah, we
say
just
it. I
need
wish
to-
I had Ettinger. Right? I wish I had Ottinger. I wish I had Vasilevsky.
Sure.
Or
Here we go.
you got
There we go.
Stuart
Liam's got
Skinner.
This season is 898, so I was close.
Okay.
Last season it was 903. Stuart Skinner had last season.
905.
Close. Yep, 905.
So he was above average.
The Oilers had above league average goals in the last season because wasn't Pickett like 909, 910 or something like that?
So what you're saying
But
is
what was Campbell?
you're going to present objective facts that no one wants to hear.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah, 903.
This
The
room is not a
average-
place for facts, okay?
No, this is just hyperbole and overreacting.
Ty kept saying on the live show when I was like, I got another fact. He's like, this is a stat. I was like, they're the same.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, they are.
291 was goals against average for people who wanted to know last season.
So ultimately, we got work to do.
Yes. Still
Lots.
Luckily, there's still 76 games to go.
Thank the gourds.
Phew.
There's some time.
But at the same time, the team last year needed 16 games to be able to compete for the division, right?
16
And
game heater.
And I think this team is better than last year. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not hitting the panic button by any means, but I don't want to go down the 9-game losing streak road in 12 games like last year. I don't need to dig ourselves out of that hole.
But I think the other perspective of it too is, if you want to be more optimistic about it, they're 2-1 in their last 3.
Yep.
They probably should have won on Saturday, and they'd be 3-3, and we'd all be fine. But they didn't, and
Yep.
we're not. So they'll be fine. No win tonight.
We got a game tonight against the Hurricanes. We're going to cover that a little bit later. But I want to hear from you. If you're listening to this, hit us up, Own Radio Podcast, or Twitter and Instagram. Stu getting too much hate? I say yes. I say there's a lot of hate to go around.
A lot of anger.
I think a lot of players need to pick it up. Stu included, but definitely not just him. Fair?
Fair.
Excellent. Excellent. Get into the news stories of the week, courtesy of our friends at Great Clips. With more than 4,400 hair salons throughout the United States and Canada, Great Clips is the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. Salons are locally owned and operated and open 7 days a week. Your time is valuable. Use the Great Clips check-in app and see the wait times. Check in on your phone and get your hair cut when you want. For more information, check out greatclips.com. Great Clips! It's going to be great. That's where Tyler is. Get his haircut.
About time.
24 hours.
He looked like a real schlub, you know? So we sent him to Great Clips to get a haircut so that he can be a little bit more handsome on Oilers Nation every day. Liam demanded it specifically. Great Clips, happy to serve. Looking at the news. So, again, we're going to go back to the last game against the Stars. 40 minutes, absolutely dominant. Oilers were out shooting them by a 2-1 margin. Everything was going right except the scoreboard and the special teams. So, to Liam's point, I think when I think back to that game against Dallas, I'm more frustrated that they just couldn't get that goal, which I thought would have probably opened the floodgates a little bit. I ultimately think if they play like that, they're going to win 9 times out of 10.
Those things are hand in hand, though, right? We can't score, but scoring is what the power play does. There just is no offense right now, period. Regardless of
But don't you think
5
like
on 5, 5 on 4, 5 on 3.
don't you think if they play like they did against Dallas for the first 40 minutes more often than not,
Yes.
they're going to win more games?
100%. That's one of those things where I know we don't like to get into moral victories or not, but you look back at that and go, okay, guys, just keep doing what you did in those first 40 minutes. The puck's going to go in. You guys are going to find your hands. You guys are going to find your spots. The bounce is going to come. Things are going to end up going our way. Just stick to it.
Yeah, the Dallas Stars are one of the better hockey teams in the league right now. So, I mean, the fact that you were able to kind of run their show for 2 periods, it's a good sign. But at the same time, like, the Dallas Stars power play is clicking at 5% before that game.
Yeah.
And you know, so they're primed for an opportunity to not be able to have that offensive unload, and that change. So, yeah, I don't know. I usually am an optimistic person. I guess I expect more and hope for more.
You're in Tyler's chair today.
That's true. There you go. Yeah.
It like
Really
it's
embracing
osmosis through the ass of negativity.
Gotta throw that cushion away.
Yeah.
A big part of it too is, again, power play right now as we're recording today is operating at 6.7%.
Ooh.
PK at 55.5%. That is dead last. The power play is 30th overall.
So you'll be spending your next couple mortgage payments putting it behind the power play to maybe put up a point or two in the
It's
next couple
only a
games.
matter of time.
Yes.
They just look off by a half turn. So I'm
Yeah.
even like that when I see like some of the panic about the power play. Like that one is like, I'm not worried about it at all.
No. It's just very frustrating to see them not score.
Yeah.
Tyler was doing some stats today I can't remember
Facts?
exactly what they were.
Were they stats or were they facts?
Maybe more stats than facts. He could have lied to me.
I
I don't
see.
know. He said, so if I'm wrong, he said it, that they're getting a lot of shots blocked, way more than they usually do. I think
I've
he has an
noticed
article coming out today too on the site, so you can read more about it there. But that's basically what he said. There's a bunch of numbers: 48, 103,
65,
65, 7, 8, 9, all involved. Not sure how.
I do definitely feel like block shots are definitely up. I know it's very frustrating to see, but it's going to take half a step. That's all it is. Once they realize this, like half a step away, the guy slides one way or the other, you get around it quite easily. This power play is more than smart enough to figure that out.
Now sorry.
So go ahead then.
I was going to say, what if they just played into it? Be like, okay, Bush, here's your blast. It's going to go off this guy's ass, and then Draisaitl's going to shoot in the rebound off it.
When I get frustrated, I say, just close your eyes, shoot as hard as you can, about 2 inches off the ice. And if it hits you in your foot, then don't stand in front of the damn shot.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Take them out one by one.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, outside of changing personnel, because we talked about that on Friday's episode, but like, what do you think the power play needs to do to just get some success, given that they're not having any right now?
They just need to find one. It's just, it's stupid, but it's a little bit of confidence. It's a little bit of belief in yourself, which is pretty much the same thing. But it's just getting back to what they do.
To me, right now, I'd love to see power play 1 operate like they were power play 2, meaning don't always have to look for the pretty plays and the cross ice passes and like the things that generally work when they're humming. Throw them at the net.
It's the
Get
play
greasy. Crash the crease.
Yeah.
It's the
Cause
play
some
before
chaos.
the cross ice pass that should be going towards the net right now instead. And then all of a sudden you get the other teams start to pick up on that and know that, oh shit, this is going on the net. They take a step backwards or a step to block the shot a little bit more, opens up the passing. Because they like to do things such a certain way, it's easier to kind of predict it. And they're going back to the well every single time. So switch it up. Start to, start to shoot from the left boards. And you'll start to see the PKs against us lean that way. And when they do, it opens up the pass across.
Because to your point, like you can see it. Everybody's shading the right side of the ice right
We
now.
can, we've watched
Everybody's
1,000
seeing
of them. Everyone else is watching 1,000 of them too because they see this. It is so good. We all sort of kind of know what they want to do. But you remember last year they scored that one goal, and then Dustin Brown tried to take the credit. Remember they're like, oh, Dustin Brown drew this up, and then we've been doing this for years, but Dustin, they did something different that everybody in this room sat there and went, oh shit, we haven't seen that before. When you start doing things we haven't seen before, a team that has seen as much as we have and expects what we expect, you're going to throw them all off.
It kind of goes to what I'm saying though, like operating more like a PP2.
Yeah,
in the
just
sense
change
of
it up a bit.
simplifying it. Just get greasy, get grimy out there. They're looking for the highlight reels, the things that like when they work, we go, oh fuck, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
But those lanes kind of aren't there right now.
Yeah, and just drop a different player. Start, you're not going to like this, but 93's got to start shooting. He's got to start hitting the net.
Without question.
And we're not talking about picking corners. Like, put it off the pads and get ready for rebounds. Zach Hyman is one of the best at having pucks go off of him. Whether he swats it in the net or it finds him and goes in, just start putting the puck on net. Put it on net and see what happens.
Make your own luck. I think it's like
Yeah.
throw pucks on net, but make sure that people are like, not just Zach Hyman. Like if Connor's kind of floating in that top bumper spot, crash the crease.
And
There's
Leon
stuff
can come
there.
in from the other side. If Nugent's shooting from his side and you're putting it off, the middle of the pads and going to pop up the other way, Leon's right there on his off wing.
Mm-hmm.
That is the easiest one-timer you can get.
What else you guys seen on the power play?
Well, like for me, I don't know. Like I've said it before. I think you put that second unit out and you almost try to build the first unit up to be the hype team for the second unit. But if you're going to go away from that, or if I'm going to try and come up with another idea, I don't know. Like, is it shooting every time you touch the puck? Like, I don't know. It really. I just think that this team. I do think that this team is going to. That the teams in general have shifted the way that they're defending our power play. I think that the high pressure works. It's always worked against McDavid and Draisaitl. If you get that high pressure and you get your stick into the triangle right in front of them between their skates and then the stick blade, it's harder for them to operate. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really do just think that the adjustments are coming, that the team is going to figure this out and going to find the holes that causes. But short of that, maybe it is just these guys need to be moving around more. They are the fittest and the fastest group probably in the NHL. So maybe they need to get these penalty killers moving around more so that even if they aren't scoring on that penalty kill or on that power play, that then when 5-on-5 comes around, they've got those guys a little bit more gassed. I'm not sure.
I think too that I was trying to find the stat where you were chatting there, but I couldn't find it offhand. But like anecdotally, over the last handful of games, there's been a fair number of the Oilers' power play chances where they didn't even register a shot on net. Mm-hmm. A lot of whipping it around the outside, looking for the perfect lane.
Instead of finding that cross-ice pass, start shooting on the net.
Start shooting on the net.
Yeah, and that'll help Zach Hyman too.
And the power play, too, is hurting right now without McLeod's entrance. That's all I like is his entrance. After that, his hands kind of died off, but he got the puck in the zone.
Yeah,
almost Connor well.
Yeah, you did. Did you use yawn?
I just did.
Mark it down.
Mark it
Yep.
down.
Dan's the culprit. Oh, software install has been done on the TV. So that's very
TV
good.
will reset.
Smart
Awesome.
TV, excellent.
Disaster.
Don't know why we have a smart TV in here, but that's a different story. Final thoughts on the power play before we move on?
Let's get a goal.
It, too, will come around just like Skinner.
Currently, right now, the Oilers have four forwards without a point, which is a little bit interesting. Zach Hyman and Victor Arvidsson are the most notable. And then the other two are Derek Ryan and Podkolzin.
Oh, but Derek Ryan was robbed.
He was robbed.
Yeah, by Arvidsson.
Yes, he really, really was. Any concern there specifically for Hyman and Arvidsson that we're 6 games in, they've got nothing on the board? I just don't want it to carry on because, like, eventually you start getting between your own ears.
I think the Arvidsson argument for him not scoring is a bad one. Because people keep being like, oh,
What's
like
the argument?
What's the
the
argument?
argument is that like he missed so much time last season.
Oh, yes.
But
yeah.
he missed the start of the season. He got back in mid-March.
Yeah, he got back.
He
for
played
what?
18 regular season games, only 5 in the playoffs.
Oh, why?
Because we're awesome. I'm willing to give him a ton of time, and I think they need to just plant him next to Draisaitl and give him that chance. What I will say to the people who are completely against him right now, I would rather have him at this point than have re-signed Warren Fogle, who also has 0 points. You know what I mean? Like, you're fine either way, I guess.
Mr. Faxman
All
there.
right, here we go.
The goal scoring that's coming against us. Who's on the ice for this?
Let me... Oh,
Are we talking top end or bottom end forwards?
a lot of the top guys.
See, and that's what I'm saying. So bottom end forwards, if you're not scoring, I still want you to be 0 players. I want you to go out there and get dirty, get in the corners, piss off other teams, get under the skin of other players, do other things. And I think he's done a decent job of that. I think he can do a better job of that. I feel like he's done a better job of that against us in the playoffs. So I am looking for a little bit more out of him, but it's not necessarily on the scoreboard. Like, he will get to the scoreboard, and Hyman, I think everybody in this room expected him to take a bit of a dip this year. So we have to realize. Well, I mean, this is still only 6 games, right?
But to have no points in 6 games isn't good.
No, 100%. No, but I mean, we didn't expect him to put up last year's numbers. So a little bit of a slow start mixed with a dip in the season. The points will start coming here right quick. And you never want to go 6 games, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too worried if I were him either.
I think for Arvidsson as well, he was very close to getting that goal against Nashville. Like, basically, if his stick was a little bit longer, he would have scored that goal. Just looking here, since you were asking, Arvidsson has been on the ice for 2 goals against, but also on the ice for 2 goals for. So he's even.
And then those 2 goals against, there were games where there were score effects involved. Totally. Anything after 3-0 in Winnipeg, if you're on the ice for 4, 5, 6, what the fuck's it matter? A little bit of,
Yeah. Nuge, on the other hand, not on the ice for a goal 4 yet this season at 5-on-5. That's not good.
This is the top end of our team is not producing.
Well, and also, like, when it comes to Nuge, he has to be on the wing.
100%. You can spot him at center every now and then.
Sure.
but not for like a long term.
It just like we've learned this over the last handful of years with him. There's nothing wrong with him being a really good complementary winger. But when you're expecting him to, when you stack up McDavid and Draisaitl and he's the second line center, it's not working and hasn't for a minute.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I am curious to know if that playing all three aspects of the game is going to affect him a bit. Like, I mean, we had no rest this summer, right? You're on there. He's on there 5-on-5, important 5-on-5. He's on there 5-on-4. He's out there 5-on-3. He's out there 4-on-5. He's out there 3-on-5. He's out there 6-on-5. He's out there in every aspect of the game. Eventually, this is going to start wearing on him. We've seen teams like Tampa Bay go through 2 or 3 playoff or cup runs, and they start to be drained. Well, Nuge has got to be getting there. So no.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an angle I haven't thought about. I wonder if they'll just take him off one of the special teams eventually, just to give him that bit of.
And if you were to,
but to be
based on
fair,
the
he's
way
not,
the team
he's
is
not
right now,
playing at 5-on-5. He's
Pardon me?
playing like less than 10 minutes of 5-on-5 most nights.
Well, when you took him off when you put the Connor Leon line together,
Yeah.
I think the other three kind of just flip around at anywhere there's lottery balls at that point. But maybe he does need a little bit of
Maybe.
a
Yeah, that's a
rest.
good point.
Well, let's look at the line combos then tonight. Seems like a natural transition. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman have been reunited as a line. I just think that's kind of how those should be. They had a lot of success.
Him and Skinner are swappable, but I'm okay going back to this right now.
That's fine as long as he's on the left side of a centerman.
Yeah, he's
good
top
with
6, 100%. And I think that you can flip those two wingers around.
Well, Jeff Skinner, you mentioned him. He is alongside Draisaitl and Arvidsson, so that the preseason plan is back for Game 7. Third line is Janmark, Ryan Brown. I guess the third and fourth line you can kind of interchange. And then Puck Holes and Henrique Perry is your forward group. What do you think of those line combos so far, Liam? Or at first thought?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with them all. I think those 4 wingers need to make a point of being like, we can play with McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, we belong to play with these guys. You don't need to break us all up every 2 minutes. And it is up to those guys to go on the ice and perform. So I'm good with it. I think this is how it should be for this homestand at least.
The only bummer I have, to be honest, was I thought that Henrique Brown Skinner was a really good line.
Yeah.
Did they not mention it today that somehow it was rewarding put Colson by putting him and Perry by putting them with Henrique. So it's almost like when they mentioned that in the presser, that was kind of like that third line, and then the third line.
Done well.
But they're all interchangeable.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is just the way Stauffer had laid him out when he tweeted it. But
Yeah,
I
but
guess those
someone
third and fourth lines are kind
said
of-
this was a reward for Podkolzin and Perry.
One thing I'll say about Puck Colson is his ability on the forecheck is legit. I also like what he's kind of doing. He's seeming to find his way on the PK a little bit. I know the PK has been a hot mess for the most part, but I can see Puck Colson getting a little bit more ice time for the way he's played so far, despite the lack of points.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's a lack of points right now, right? So you just got to keep going. And these forward lines, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. At this point, it's just go out and win the damn game.
The line I'm most kind of hopeful that it clicks is the Skinner, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. If they could get that one to go and to click, that would go a long way. I think, long way.
I think, too, say, if I'm remembering correctly, they only played the Winnipeg game together, right?
Yes.
Then it was taken away immediately.
Yes.
I think, yeah. Jeff Skinner was not good in that game.
No, he wasn't.
Nobody was good in that game. But you can argue Jeff Skinner has been, alongside Barry, probably the best forward they've had. So now putting in Max Draisaitl with a bit of confidence, a bit more comfortable around the team, I think it's going to be really good.
He's a shooter, and he's got an elite passer right beside him. So
Also, another layer of this, so we have not discussed yet, revenge game.
for
Jeff Skinner.
let's go.
I have another fact.
Go ahead.
In 2015-16, Derek Ryan was a rookie in the NHL for the Carolina Hurricanes. Another revenge game. 29 years old. Jeff Skinner, 23, with his 6 years as a pro. What a fact.
Young man game.
Yeah.
Jeff Skinner still looks like he's 18 years old.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Continuing on with the new pairings on D. This one was interesting on Twitter. Ekholm Bouchard, staple. Dermott back in, Emberson out, but he's on the left side, Nursey on the right side.
I like it.
And then Kulak Stetcher is their third pairing. Go ahead, Liam.
So they've tried basically everyone on this position. So why not try your most athletic player?
I see where you're coming from.
You know, if anyone's like half the time, and he's been good this season, but Nurse is criticized on the left side,
And what?
we just put him on the right. What's the worst that happens?
What's the biggest criticism about Nurse? His passing, correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
It's just everything in general.
Well,
to be
yeah, I
honest.
mean, some people are going to dislike the way he ties his skates, but one of the biggest things is his passing. And when you're on your off wing, you're kind of reduced on your passing angles a lot more to almost where you're forced to make the easier one. Like if you're going right side to left side, that is a dangerous pass. If you're going left side to right side as a left-handed shooter, it feels like it's easier.
Yeah.
So now you're coming up the boards. You're going to be maybe glassing out a little more often, using that winger a little more often, or even skating it out a little bit further and then making your dish.
Which is what you want him to do.
Yes.
You want Nurse skating with the puck.
Yes.
Because he's
He's an incredible
he's a
skater.
great skater. But I'm all for this because, one, I don't think Travis Dermott's that good. And he's a lefty playing on the right. But we seem very comfortable with that happening because he's done it before.
Would you rather see like Gleason up in that spot?
Who?
Yeah.
No, I would not like to see
In Dermott's spot.
No, I would like to see Brett Kulak. This is my theory. I've been thinking about this quite a lot. It works. Nurse
Well, he's
works on
working
the
in the
right
shed.
side. And then you bump Kulak up as your top 4 left defenseman. And then your third pairing is, I don't know, you do Dermott.
No, come on now. Who's your third pairing?
You thought about this a lot.
You do Dermott and Stetcher or Emerson, or hey, maybe you go 4 right-handed defensemen. You know? But just mix it up. 2 lefties, 2 righties, give it a go. I think Nurse is gonna work. I think he's been playing pretty well this season. He's confident right now.
I'm in Tyler's chair, so I think by the end of the second period, it will be dead and done.
But also too, the last time these two played together, Dermott and Nurse, like obviously Nurse was on the right. Dermott was on the right side, but they were kind of flipping back and forth anyway. So I do think he'll be quite.
I like
fluid
putting
thing.
Nurse over there the more they mention it. It kind of keeps you on your toes a bit. You can't get too comfortable in your spot and, make it.
all
Oops,
your
I did that
seats.
before. You're a little more on your toes, a little more aware of your surroundings.
I was kind of like, oh, they're trying Nurse on the right side. And then hearing Liam talk, I'm like, you know what? This makes sense to me.
It kind of does.
And don't forget
What's
who
the
your
worst that could happen? And
who's
to
your
Dan's
D-
point, if you flip him right back, away she goes.
who's your D coach? It's the guy who can move the puck and skate well.
What game was
Mark
that last
Stewart?
year where we tried?
Yeah, he's very good at it.
There was all 3 different pairings right before the end of the season.
Oh yeah,
And then they immediately were like, nope, we're
Not
never
last
doing
one.
that again.
yeah. That was
Mid-game.
true.
This would be the first time in a long time I've seen 3 left defense and 3 right defense, and have 2 pairings of 2 right, pairing of 2 righties and a pairing of 2 lefties.
What about Emerson coming out? Any surprise there?
No, I'm not surprised. I think they just want to get guys in and out, and it's easy to scratch Stetcher, Emerson, or Dermott every night rather than.
But can you scratch Stetcher?
He didn't scratch him.
I know he's not scratched, but like I think he's kind of played himself into almost an everyday player.
I agree. But I just think back to last season when they were so reluctant to scratch Cody Ceci because he's Cody Ceci. He's an established NHLer. And like Troy Stetcher is too, don't get me wrong, but like it's way easier to be like, oh, you make less than 800,000, we're going to scratch you tonight.
And I think his size thing is a big part of it too.
He does get out-muscled a little bit.
And the fact he stood up in that fight
yeah.
is okay, maybe this kid has a little more
He's got some jam there.
I like him.
whatever.
I like him
Yeah.
too. I just think he's playing his way into an everyday player on this current defensive group.
You know, this is so when he played his 3rd game in a row, that was the longest stretch he had played for the Oilers. So now I think he's at 5 now. So whenever that was, Nashville, it was the longest stretch he had played. Granted, he hadn't played a lot before that anyway, but
So rest up. Rest up, Troy Stetcher. Make sure you got gas in the tank. There you go, your line combos. I also thought this was an interesting, going back to the lack of scoring. Hopefully these line combos are what unlocks it tonight against the Hurricanes. I think it was Dom Lecision put together kind of like a goals below and above expected list. The Oilers are currently 8.1 goals below expected on the season based on their XGF and their Corsi 4s and all the underlying numbers. My point here is they're getting PDO'd like crazy a little bit right now, and I think that it's only a matter of time.
yeah, I agree.
I'm not anywhere close. How close are you to the panic switch, Liam?
Not at all. So we have a whiteboard in our office for people who want a bit of a vision here, and we have the record on there.
Yes.
And I just erased the record, and I wrote, "Ask me in December." Like what? It's so irrelevant right now. I think the Calgary Flames are first in the Pacific Division.
Everybody saw it coming.
Like, come
I
on,
wrote
Dustin
the
Wolf is a 944 save percentage.
I wrote the record on there so everybody could be more informed.
No one needs to know.
That's all. I just thought we keep saying what the Oilers are, and everybody has to think, how many games have we played?
Look at the schedule that Kennedy screwed up, and that's why she's in jail.
Yeah,
now.
Kenny's in jail now. Yeah. Very, very upsetting for her for sure to be in jail with Woz and Liam.
Maximum security, by the way.
Yep. Max security too. It is a
It's serious.
It is.
I'm messing around here.
Don't mess
tough
around
in
here.
these streets.
Yeah.
It's tough in these streets, boys. Want to get to a couple of keys to victory for the Oilers tonight. They got the Hurricanes in town. Hurricanes currently 2-2. They've scored 12, given up 11. They're 1-1 on the road. They did lose their last game. You got a keys to victory, Liam, for Oilers Hurricanes. What do you got?
Just those wingers on Draisaitl and McDavid's line to make a point. That's my key to victory.
I think it's fair. Dan?
Effective shots directed at the net.
Shots
Just-
on target.
Shooting more than the Carolina Hurricanes. They like to lower those shot totals.
Rick, what do you got? What's the key to victory for you?
Keep doing what you're doing in the first 40 minutes versus Dallas.
Listen, like I said, if they can play like that more often than not, they're going to win more often than not. And it's tonight confirmed, courtesy of Daily Faceoff, Skinner versus Frederick Anderson is your goalie matchup tonight.
Anderson's had a good start to the year.
Score more goals than Carolina.
That is simple but effective.
Key to victory.
Another stat fact for you all. If you listen to Owen every day, sorry you've already heard all of these. Carolina allows the fewest shots against per game at 23.5. The Oilers allow the second fewest shots against at 25. Carolina, I believe, is fifth in the NHL for shots for. So that'll be a key as well to try and limit those shots because they actually don't.
Are you
they don't
suggesting
score
we
them.
bet the under on shots?
I was about to ask, what's the total on shots tonight?
27.5 for Skinner saves. Oh, the shot total. I don't know. I didn't look at that. Skinner's is 27.5. It's going to be interesting.
Another note on Frederick Anderson from our friends at Daily Faceoff. Anderson, 35-year-old Anderson is off to another strong campaign, boasting a stellar 1.53 goals against and a .936 save percentage in his 2 outings so far.
He's a good goalie. He's played well against the Oilers in his career, but most of those, I think, were with Anaheim.
Well, maybe a little revenge game is what we need. Jeff Skinner hat trick tonight? A little sprinkle?
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 2 4-point games against Carolina, including a hat trick.
I would love nothing more than anyone to get a hat trick tonight, be it Skinner, Nuge, Ryan, or otherwise.
Anyone.
I'll just take a W.
Yeah, just 1-0 win would be fine, too.
Totally fine with that. as
Power
well.
play goal. For the love of
I would
God.
like a stress-free night, like a nice 8-1 win would be real nice on the old heart.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on After Dark tonight. I'd like to talk about that.
The when they lost to Carolina last year, that's when the season kind of kickstarted.
Yes.
So hopefully the
That
loss
was
to
the-
Dallas kickstarts it.
That was the gif of Connor and Leon giving each other little
Yeah.
knucks on the bench there.
I don't know why they didn't do it last game.
They should do it.
Or
last
the game before that.
I just-
or
just
even
right now.
halfway through the
Yeah,
Winnipeg game.
I was going to
Practice
say
this
game
morning.
1.
Yeah, morning skate this morning. They're giving each other little taps. You know? Any other keys to victory? I think, again, you know, play simple. You're not scoring right now. Don't be pretty. Get ugly. Get greasy. Nothing wrong with that. The ugly goals are just as beautiful to me. I promise you that. Crash the crease, hack away, cause some chaos.
The blue line's still really good in Carolina, but definitely not what it once was. They have a pairing that's Shane Gostisbehere and Sean Walker. We should be able to expose that. Right?
Over how many, I don't know how long it's been, but both those guys, people were like begging to bring here.
Yeah, no, I was never really on the Sean Walker train. The Ghost, on the other hand, who wouldn't
Ghost Bear?
who wouldn't want that name?
Yeah, bring him back here.
He's a good career. He's actually leads that team in goals with 3.
He does. He leads the team in goals with 3. Then next up would be Jack Roslovich and Jackson Blake with 2.
Son of Jason.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
also have Chris Jury's son.
I hate that. This is starting to piss me off. I was watching
Yeah.
football last night.
You noticed it in football too?
Yeah,
Brendan
just
Moore.
Harrison Jr.
Dads.
Marvin
Oh, yeah,
Harrison
Marvin
Jr.,
Harrison
Joey
Jr.
Porter Jr.
When they were
It
doing
is brutal out there right now, boys.
they were doing a breakdown of Peyton playing with the old man and how good they were, and I was like, this sucks.
What do
I
you
don't
think
like
happens?
this
What
at
do you think
all.
happens tonight?
Yeah, it's gonna happen again tonight.
LeBron and Bronny are going to be on the same.
Oh, that is so lame.
I don't like it. You got a
Yeah,
take
because
on
I can
Bronny?
remember when LeBron's career started.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I do too.
You got a take on Bronny?
Yeah, he sucks.
Although, didn't he have his best?
I was
preseason
told
game last game?
he'll be an elite defender. The offense may not be there,
In
especially
West
against father.
Slovakia, he is, and he is.
Don't forget, he is a scout. He knows what he's talking about.
Well, the problem is with Bronny, and it's not even necessarily his fault. He literally had a heart attack last year and didn't even play a full season of
Ricky
college
Pearson
basketball.
was shot in the chest
But
2
he-
months ago and he already played.
But he was already drafted to the NFL. when
50
he
Cent was shot 8 times and released platinum albums. What you got to say about that?
No excuses, my bad.
Tupac died in 92 and dropped 3.
96.
Yeah, posthumous albums keep coming.
Oh, Bronny.
What's your excuse? None.
DeMar Hamlin died on the field
That
and
is
is still
true.
playing.
And had a pick six this year. Oh, a pick, sorry. Yeah.
No excuses.
Come on, Aiden Hutchinson, pick it up.
Hey,
Yeah, just because your leg is in 2 pieces.
yo, they're still talking about him being back if
If they make the Super Bowl,
he can make it to the bowl.
that would be insane.
Yeah, so what? Your leg's in 2 pieces. Like, get back out there.
How do you recover from that?
I cry a lot.
I would too.
I guarantee you that guy's already doing squats.
Slowly.
It's like,
the answer.
yeah, slow. It's like last night when Chris Godwin, like his ankle,
Yeah, that's
I think
very
they said he dislocated it rather than broke it, which is
It is.
better,
Yeah,
I
he's
think.
out for the year though. They
Yeah.
lost both
When
But
Thursday.
then
other
he's
way?
like on the
It was.
cart and he's like, back to work. It's like, what?
That's incredible,
I
man.
would
And that's
be-
before he got that good feeling needle. Like that was
Yeah, that was still pain was going through.
wow.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Yeah, back to work.
Speaking of back to work, let's talk a little betting ahead of tonight's game against the Hurricanes, fellas. Betting segment brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OilyBonus. The promo code is OilyBonus. Dan, what is the promo code?
Really bonus.
Thank you very much. We're playing Guess That Line. Tonight, the Oilers are favored over the Hurricanes. Just money line, Rick. What is that line? Oilers favored over the Hurricanes. And I'll give you, the Hurricanes are plus a 105 as the dogs.
Oh, we're minus 110.
Minus 120.
125.
Liam is correct, minus 125. Some may say he cheated because they also have a betting segment on Oilers Nation every day. That's okay.
He
We'll
just
give him a
chuckles
pass.
on the side.
That's me and Nuge's assist, bro.
Over under is set at 6 tonight. What do you think? Dan, you were predicting a lot of goals. What do you predict the over is? What's the line? Over 6.
I'll say it's plus 110.
Minus 110.
Minus 120. 130.
Do you think it's over or under over 6? Rick or Dan? Or Rick or Liam?
Over, on, like, you just asked me if it'll
Yeah,
be that tonight.
over, under.
I think it'll be under tonight.
What's the under?
I'm going to guess like plus 130. 140.
Over under, Rick?
110.
Over and it's minus 110.
The over is minus 125, over 6 goals. Under is plus 105 if you're looking to play over under on tonight's game.
2 of the lowest scoring teams in the league.
How about the puck line? Getting a little frisky. Oilers again favored, obviously. Minus 1.5 is, Liam, what is the puck line for the Edmonton Oilers?
Plus 180.
210.
Plus 170.
Well, gentlemen, carried over my my information incorrectly. It is plus 185. There you go. Plus 185 on the puck line. I was just like, how can the puck line and the money line be the same? The answer is it's not. All right. We need goals. We've talked about the lack of offense. Let's talk about some anytime goal scorers. 2 of these players have the exact same odds to score an anytime goal. One of them is slightly higher for the odds. Who's got the same odds to score? McDavid, Hyman, and Draisaitl. Which 2 have got the same odds for an anytime goal?
Hyman and Draisaitl.
I
Dan?
guess Hyman and Draisaitl.
No, I'm going to go with Connor and Hyman.
Connor and Hyman do have the same odds
Damn
for an
it.
anytime goal, plus 140, where Leon Draisaitl is plus 150. Seeing these odds for these guys at anytime goals and plus money right now, it makes me feel like I have to hammer them because it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, but you like tap them on the shoulder and go, "Hey, boys,
Just a little.
You want to do us a little solid here?
Just a little sprinkle.
Maybe just let us know which one of you guys is going to score the hat tricks tonight."
So there you go. There's a guess that line for our friends at Bet365.
Oh, how about this?
Go ahead.
How about a point for one Philip Broberg? No looky.
Who?
1 point. Over half a point for Philip Broberg.
Plus 115.
Oh, I'm not betting on him. I don't even care. Erased him from my memory, but I'll say plus 150.
I'm going to guess for a point.
Yep.
Plus 210.
Dan nailed it.
210?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have a point in every game so
Yeah, I'll
far?
be sprinkling over there tonight.
Defenseman, though.
Can I make a statement?
Please.
And this is opinion, not fact.
Wow. Thank you for clarifying.
Everyone online, move on. For goodness sakes. It is so frustrating.
Are you
when
new
everyone-
here?
Hold
Everyone's
on.
like, oh my gosh,
no.
bro.
Are you talking about Rafa Loa?
It depends, though. What was your feeling when it was done? What's your feeling on us paying him
Oh.
the same contract? If you're not okay with us paying him what he's being paid now, then you have to move on. I was okay with giving him the Clefbaum contract. I said that this summer, give him the Clefbaum
And
contract.
that's fine.
Therefore, I agree with you.
But he doesn't play here
off.
anymore.
Most people get off. But if you were where I was, you got to hang out for a little longer here.
But nothing's going to change. Like, he is not coming back. He is gone.
That's fair.
And Holloway and
But this
Kesselring,
is my opportunity to say that
Puljujarvi, like,
it is
come
my opportunity
on.
to say that I was right on
Hey,
this prospect.
And that's fine. But a lot of people aren't. Everyone's just piling on
And the
piling on.
Kesselring thing should just
But the thing is,
it should just make you a little bit more weary when it comes to that trading for a
agreed.
Bukestad type of player. Because there are a lot of people that we made that trade. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this. This
Agreed.
guy all of a sudden is now top 4.
I'm with you. I would like to put in there.
I pretty much feel it's like trade everybody. Trade
And
everybody to win right now.
It sucks that those guys have gone on and had success, and I wish they had done it here, obviously. But they're not here. Waste your energy on something else. Do something productive. Stop watching the St. Louis Blues. Like, you never watched them before. Why are you watching them now? Utah don't even have a damn name, and you care about Michael Kesselring. Like, come on. Yes, Puljujarvi was on waivers last year, and people are still talking about it.
I'm literally just stat boxing them.
I muted all them. I muted all those words on Twitter. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, you probably muted them like 4 years ago, though, so that doesn't even count.
They made a mistake. God, how could they do this?
Liam celebrating his first month at Oilers Nation by hearing people drag out storylines for way longer than they should.
So annoying. Like, today on the live show, we were talking about Skinner, and someone was like, Broberg got a point again. It's like, come on. Like, how are we still doing this? It's so
I imagine
annoying.
it's definitely not going to continue beyond
No.
this now that Liam has
This
stated
will
it.
Well,
end
that's
it.
just it. We keep rolling over 3 of 6 defensemen.
Hey, and the other part of it, too, is you hope that the new staff in charge, and I know the mistake was made with Broberg and Holloway, but that wasn't Bowman's fault.
No.
Bowman was here after all that had gone down.
I'm looking at the
let's just
logo.
hope he can make the right decisions.
I'm looking at the
now.
logo, but I am also saying there are a lot of people out there saying that Emberson, and again, way too small of a sample size, they were pumping up Emberson, and they had Emberson pretty much above Broberg, and I just didn't see it that way.
I do. Now, especially. Because I have no choice. Emerson's here, and I have to believe he's going to be great.
Once again, Liam is celebrating his first month at Oilersnation.com. You may have heard him for 3 seasons now, he said, but you must have been mistaken. That was a different English gardener that we had employed on the podcast. Yeah.
Gardener?
Sorry, farmer.
A farmer.
Farmer. Yeah, I'm better late
Chicken
than
raiser.
never. A fine podcast, I should say. Liam is being called a gardener, not a farmer.
Kind of ridiculous. I'd like to see those people out in the fields.
Both of whom have had this complaint are farmers. Anyway.
Well, it can't be that. I went to the rodeo. That's got to count for something.
Hey, listen, I'm giving you points. You are a fine farmer to me. All right, there you go. We're going to wrap up the podcast here with our score predictions. Again, tonight the Oilers have got the Carolina Hurricanes in town. That comes on at 7 o'clock Well,
I
that's when the broadcast started.
I think this is on you right now.
Why?
Because you've obviously done something this year. You've rocked the boat, and it's time for you to grab a hold of that large steering wheel, hold it steady, and let everything get back to where it's supposed to be.
So are you saying you don't like the blow?
The course. Stay the course.
6-1 Oilers tonight. Let's go. Liam, score prediction.
3-2 Oilers.
4-1 Oilers.
4-2 Oilers.
There you go. When we're all correct on our score predictions, all of us, you can thank us later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.